everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. In this video, we're putting the spotlight back on the original Too Faced chocolate bar palette. I've been meaning to do this for a while. In this I Remember series, what I like to do is pull out a palette that's maybe been forgotten, perhaps a little bit neglected in my collection, and I do a look with it. And this series is very much driven by your requests, so let me know in the comments section what palettes, what even little smaller drugstore quads or, you know, whatever. What things do you feel have fallen off the radar that we should bring back into the conversation? So a lot of you wanted to see this guy used, really the head honcho of the whole chocolate bar line. And the look I came out with I think is a little neutral, but still a little fun, so I'll take you through it. Okay, chocolate bar, here we go. Looking at this palette, doesn't it seem so like, I don't know, neutral instead of like warm neutral? It's kind of a different vibe from a lot of all the super warm things that have come out lately. But I am using this shade right here, and this palette, I think more recently released ones have the names printed on the palette itself, but this one does not. I mean, they were probably on a clear sheet at one time, but you know me and clear sheets. They don't always survive in this makeup room. So I've just been working with that one shade to get it built up how I want it in the crease. Excuse me. I think I'm gonna do kind of a dramatic look here, but I'm gonna like ease my way into it, you know, as I do. I'm a very build it up slowly type person on the eyes. But I'm gonna go over to this shade over here that has a little shimmer. It's kind of like a plummy brown, and I'm gonna add that to my crease and just get it a little deeper on the outside. I forgot how much I enjoyed this palette. Like, I love this series so much because you just fall in love with things that you sort of, I wouldn't say I totally forgot about it, but it just kind of gets pushed to the back, you know, unfairly. It's worthy of use. But so many things are, you know, it's like I wish I had a few extra sets of eyeballs that I could just do in the mornings if I had time. Okay, now I'm gonna buff that out a little bit. Kind of want to throw a highlight on there, so I'm going to use this matte cream shade for that. And I'm going to add a little glow on top of it as well. Oh man, I'm just getting reminded. I feel like I used this glowy shadow as a highlight on my face back in the day. I'm going to try that again. Why not, right? Yes. Ooh, pretty. It's very cool, very brightening because it's got a little bit of pink tone in that shade. I think I'm going to do like a real high contrast thing here on the lid, so I'm going to go very light toward the inside and super dark toward the outside and develop kind of a wing there. So I'm going to start with the lighter shade, and I'm going to go over to this color. It's kind of like a peachy champagne. So soft, so nice to work with. Just lay that down on like the inner half of your lid. I'm curious, you guys, how do you follow tutorials? Do you actively like have them on while you're doing your makeup and go step by step and like pause it if you need to and really work with it that way? Or do you just kind of watch and file away some ideas and then do your look later? I'd like to know. I'm gonna do a little bit of this light shade right here for brightening. And I want to add a little bit to make this even lighter. Now I'm kind of cleaning my brush off a bit, and I'm going to go to this darkest matte brown right here. And I'm going to use the flat brush first, just because I definitely want some of this on at least half the lid. So a flat brush is great for getting it placed there in a very concentrated way. Pat, 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 do a little wedging. The old pat and wedge. Pat it on the lid, wedge it in the crease. Does anybody else watch Curb Your Enthusiasm? It came to my mind because I just said pat and wedge, and it seems like he always gets little like phrases in his head. Like, what was the one the other night when he was trying to tip the guy and he talked about like, you can't flip the tip, or I don't. You just gotta watch Larry David to understand Larry David. That's all I could say. Now I want to kind of bring that darkness even further out with that same shadow here, the matte brown, which is really pigmented and very nice to work with here. And I'm gonna pull it up kind of in the direction of my outer tip of my eyebrow. We're gonna do a fun lower lash line. So if you're sitting there thinking, Emily, I don't know about all this brown that's happening, I got you. Okay, it's looking very like sculpted right now. It needs a little softening up. So I'm taking a bare brush and I'm just kind of running it along the edge. I'm not really sweeping it into my look a lot because I don't want to, you know, really mess with the look all that much. I just want to soften the edges. I'll probably have some winged liner involved, so that kind of helps, I don't know, frame the look a bit as well. And I want kind of a little bit of a transition. So I'm gonna go back to this shade that we first used in the crease. And I find myself doing this a lot with looks. Like once I've really gotten it as dark as I want it, then I go back in with that sort of mid-tone shade and it helps everything kind of blend out. Well, not really blend out, but just, you know, transition. Extra dab. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do my upper liner because the lower liner is going to be a whole process in itself. So I'm using my Infallible Super Slim. This is the one I talked about in my video where I was mentioning products that I took with me on our little Thanksgiving break. Reviewed a lot of products in one video, and this was one of those things that I just really came away liking. So here I'm going to basically just follow that shape that I created with the eyeshadow, and the eyeliner's just gonna roll with that. Okay, so I've got my wings. I'm somewhat satisfied with them, I guess. And then I'm gonna do kind of a bluish lavender sort of a pop on the lower lash line. I'm gonna work with this shade right here. Yep, that little wild card that was thrown into the chocolate bar. I'm gonna use some different liners to help this situation work out. So I'm gonna use my Makeup Forever Aqua XL in S20. How do we describe this? Dusty teal. It's sort of a medium teal color. I'm gonna get that in my lower inner rim. So the bluest part of this look is going to be closest to the eyeball, and then it's going to fade outward into more of a dusty, shimmery, whatever you want to call that shade in the chocolate bar palette. And work a little bit of this color just into the lash line, especially on the outside. Then I'm going to take this new Maybelline Lasting Drama Light Liner, and this is the color, what was this called? Moonlight Purple. I did use this in another video recently too, but I just thought it would be perfect with this particular shadow in this palette. And I'm just going to cover the entire rest of the lower lash line and also pull this color out underneath the wing. And this is a nice long wearing liner, by the way. This wore really well when I wore it in that other video, and it's really good about not smudging off, flaking off. So I've got that everywhere. And then, I say and then in so many videos, like as if you guys haven't noticed when I'm doing tutorials and I'm editing, I introduce every step with and then. I'm gonna go into this shade, which has perhaps been my least used shade in this whole palette. So it's fun to kind of reapproach a palette with the thought that I'm gonna use you differently this time, you know? I'm just overlapping where I put that Maybelline eyeliner. And it's kind of making this particular shadow, I think, a little brighter. Like, it's just giving it a little something to cling to. I'm gonna take just a bit of the matte super dark brown and use that a little bit here under the wing part to just make it all blend a little better. See what I'm doing? I'm just putting it directly under the wing. And that darkness is kind of helping the blue blend in so it doesn't look so out of place, I guess. Then what? I feel like maybe I'm gonna go back. Sorry, this is all over the place. Yeah, just a little more of that so we can really see some shine on the inner part. So now I'm going to spare you the tediousness of this. I'm going to curl my lashes. I'm going to do some of this Marc Jacobs mascara and maybe a little bit of the Maybelline Total Temptation on the lower lashes, because this makes a thick lower lash, but this did not smudge or flake on me anytime I've put it there. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. So see how it looks out the window this morning? See that warmth kind of along the horizon and then a little bit blue? That's kind of the look that we've achieved here with the eyes without even really trying. Sorry, I got a hair stuck to my lip. We've got a little bit of warmth, some contrast there on the lid, and then I love how this lower lash line turned out. And yes, I did add some false lashes on top. They were some really inexpensive ones that I got from my Kate house. I'll have to look up the style because I did not put those back in their box where they go. But I really feel like this is one of the best looks that I've done with this chocolate bar palette. I'm really liking it. It definitely sort of reinvigorated my love for this palette. And what else am I wearing? I decided to go with kind of a warm pumpkin-y lip. So I'm wearing Rebirth from Makeup Revolution. I really wanted to show you guys this because I had mentioned this and swatched this in my last video, but it's a great color. And then I put a little bit of Awaken, which is another one of those lipsticks from that line. I kind of put that a little in the center of the lower lip. Love mixing a couple good lipsticks, and then I have a little bit of the CoverGirl Peach Perfection Instant Cheekbones on the cheeks, and I think that plays well with the little bit of warmth that's visible from this eye look and the lip as well. So please let me know what palette you would like to see featured in an I Remember video. They can even be smaller, like drugstore things. If there's something you heard me talk about way back when and you'd like to see it brought back to the forefront, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye!